Right now, I'm on day 21 of not consuming social media content. I decided to take a 30-day break of just not scrolling through Instagram, not scrolling to X, and actually make sure that I'm doing less consuming on social media. Now, this has been super great. It honestly has been quite big. And I just noticed how much of a natural habit it is to just open my Instagram, to just open my X. And I'm not spending a lot of time on there anyways. I know that usually my phone screen time has been less than an hour a day. And I've not really done that much social media scrolling all the time. But I did notice the big difference it brought when I decided to just kind of step away from that and how much more mental clarity I have. Now in this video, there's some crazy stuff that I'm going to share. So you have to see this because I kind of noticed what these 21 days have brought to me. But if you see this, you'll really be surprised. By 2030, smartphones could lower global IQ by 10 points. Your smartphone is rewiring your brain literally on a day-by-day basis. In 2007, when Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone, he said that this will change everything, and he was right. But he didn't say, or it wasn't imagined, that within 15 years, the global attention span has dropped by 70%. And it's even up to a crazy point where brain structure is literally adapted by it, and memory capabilities for most people are absolutely plummeted. This information I'm presenting to you is from Dr. Adam Gazelle. Hope I pronounced it the right way. He's a neuroscientist, and he really clearly have laid out that they have actually been quietly reprogramming our brain. And the neuroscientists have painted a very grim picture. Because the reality is that we're becoming so much more distracted, we're less able to actually concentrate and consume long form content, memories, information, and we're even really losing the ability to do deep work and to reflect and to actually critically think. He said it very well that the constant bombardment of information is damaging our brain. What I really liked that he said as well is that we are an ancient brains living in a modern world. He has a video on YouTube. He has a TED Talk as well that you can check out. It's just super informative. Highly suggest that you check it out after this video, of course. But this is some great stuff. We really need to be aware of this. I'm sharing this message because I've been on a break right now to consuming social media with the goal of defeating that habit of just scrolling. Not necessarily that I scroll too much or that I felt like I was too much pulled into it, but just because I felt like this is a habit, like I'm literally programmed in myself to consume it. And next to stopping that social media consuming, I've also started to manifest and reflect a lot every day before I go to sleep. I'm taking the time to just sit in my room and just think and just reflect. And that truly, genuinely has impacted my life in a few days. So that's why I'm sharing this, because it's crazy. It's so important to be aware of this. And here's what the neuroscience says. The neurological impact, as it's called, has really shown with MRI scans that there's changes happening to the brain that are similar to people who are drug addicts. And we've really seen that there's emotional damage because of the alterations, because of the constant dopamine of these devices. And it's got to a point where it decreases our ability to literally make decisions. Decision fatigue, not being able to really think about something, losing memory, it's quite real. And I think a lot of people do recognize that if they really think about it. This all started with the BlackBerry era. When the BlackBerry came out, they had something called the Crackberry, which basically was a notification system that created that first really digital addiction cycle. And the smartphones have fixed that. It's the same psychology, but far more dangerous if you think about it. The social media pandemic, as you could call it, has really destroyed our brains because all these apps, they're actually programmed to make us distracted. These are some real numbers I found from the doctor as well who did the neuroscience research here. What's super crazy, and this is, you have to actually sink this in, this is quite crazy. The attention span has dropped from 2.5 minutes to 45 seconds. That's like a 70% drop. It's crazy, and that's a period of 15 years. There's this world called digital amnesia where we're basically consumed and relying so much on consuming this digital information, and we're so relied on using a calculator and using Google that it's bringing us amnesia on a day-by-day basis. And it's so crazy, but the actual brain structure is changing by this. What's really crazy is that this research shows that children who are born this day, today, they might not even be able to develop the full cognitive capacity just as we have right now. what they call the digital amnesia basically is some real scary realizations. And I relate to this a lot. I am not relying on my brain at all. I use so many note-taking tools. I'm so system focused. I have so many systems. I'm such a system focused guy that I purposely know that I don't want to keep information in my brain. I think David Allen said it really well, that your brain is there to create and to have ideas. It's not there to store memory. I've taken this so extreme that now that I reflect on this information, it's a little bit crazy to realize that I'm actually losing my natural abilities to hold information because I'm so reliant on this. I'm using AI so much. I'm talking to Grok on a daily basis. I'm asking ChatGPT so many different things. I store all the information that I need to store without wanting to memorize it. I almost never do math out of my head. I always use a calculator because I know it's always correct. And all of that has really brought me to a point of a few years collectively of me being online, being on social media, that it's quite crazy to realize the impact of that. And you have to realize the big difference from where we were until now. Because if I'm driving in the neighborhood where I live for 20 years, like, I prefer my Google Maps. I'm not going to lie to you. I have my Waze on or Google Maps on. I need to see the road. Now, of course, I might know some things, but if I would be with my dad in the car, he could drive to the whole other country and he would still know the way, right? Like that. Those are some things which are real. Like, we will drive the same street so many times and we still need the GPS. We use the calculator for such simple math. And it's all because we outsource our memory to digital devices. There's a few reset protocols, what they call it, that are coming from the neuroscientists who have brought up these numbers. One of them is a 20-20-20 rule. Now, I know, and this is my opinion, there's this productivity hack where you work for 20 minutes and then you rest. I think that's complete bullshit. Why would you stop after 20 minutes of work? Like, that doesn't make sense. But what they're saying right here is that every 20 minutes, you just have to look away for just a few seconds. And I think that's something which is super great because it's not, oh, I have to go away and stop my work. You're just taking a pause. And that makes a lot of sense. It's certainly something I'm looking to implement and actually test out for myself, just as I tested out not consuming social media. One of the big things as well is doing just one thing at the same time, right? Like no notification, actually doing deep work. It's such a big thing. I remember 2 years ago, I was with some friends in Cyprus, and somebody there told me like, hey, listen to this video, put your notifications on your laptop like this, and just focus. And it really changed how I am able to focus. Just putting on the sound in the background, putting on my headphones, no curtains open, shutting down my notifications, and it really allows me to focus. So those moments, super big. Also, this is not me, but like a lot of people would really need to have the no phones, like no phones in your bathroom and things like that. For me, I always put it away in the other side of the room. I just don't like to be that much on my phone. But these are some things that we've got recommended by the neuroscientist. So the message of this video is to truly reclaim your mind. You have to control the screen time. One of the things I started to implement as well, and this is something I did a few weeks ago, is that on my iPhone, I set the actual screen time control so that if I am on Instagram, there's like a 50 minutes or something limit a day. So if I use it, like it blocks it and it disables it. Like I highly recommend to use those things as well, because you just want to put a stop on it, right? Like you cannot just be consuming all the time. It's just literally not healthy. What's in here as well is the physical movement. Obviously you have to go to the gym, you have to do your thing, take a walk. I noticed that's a big thing for me as well. I was recently taking a walk in the neighborhood I've almost lived in for almost 1.5 years. And I truly felt like I was walking there for the first time, really. I was in a state of meditation while I was walking through it. I decided to take my Wednesday morning, where usually I work, I plan in things, I have things to do, and I decided to just take my time and to go for a walk. And with that different set of mind, I just had so much more peace and rest, which has really been a big game changer for me to be able to know when to implement rest. And those are all the things you have to focus on, because we're so focused on living in that digital world. Like, this is just big help for me. Like, this is what has really helped me. So I'm sharing this as well, doing some research, putting this information together. You saw it on my ex before. And with that as well, I'm closing off this video. So thank you for having the attention span of going through this, and I'll see you in the next one.